Some fans see this as a pivotal moment for idol culture, where the fine line between admiration and obsession is being redrawn in real time. And while Jin's honesty is being praised, it leaves a looming question. Will other members, especially Jungkook, speak out too? Or is this just the beginning of a bigger shift in BTS fan dynamics? One thing is certain. As the K-pop world evolves, so must the way fans express their love. For now, Jin has spoken, and the world is watching to see who's next. The timing of Jin's statement is particularly significant. His first major solo endeavor after completing military service was meant to be a celebratory homecoming, a gift to fans who had waited patiently for his return. The concerts were colorful, festive, and deeply emotional, filled with surprise guests and heartfelt speeches. But amid the joy, the reality of being a global icon came crashing in. Jin's plea to the crowd wasn't delivered with anger, but with a mix of vulnerability and exhaustion. Watching him speak, it was clear that this wasn't a one-time issue. It was the culmination of years of physical strain and emotional pressure. His past surgery wasn't just a medical event. It had changed how he performs, how he moves, and now how he engages with his fans. For many, the incident brought back memories of Jungkook's past interactions with overly enthusiastic fans. Though Jungkook often maintains his composure, longtime ARMYs recall moments when he appeared visibly uncomfortable, especially during solo schedules or airport appearances. He's been grabbed, followed, and even had his privacy invaded by so-called sasaeng fans. While he's never made a public plea like Jin, yet, fans are starting to connect the dots. Could Jin's open frustration set a precedent for other members? In the world of K-pop, where fan service is often expected and idol fan boundaries are blurred, such statements are rare. When a global star like Jin says no, it challenges an entire industry built on access, intimacy, and idol fantasy. The conversation is spreading beyond fandom spaces. Korean media outlets, as well as international fan communities, have started analyzing what Jin's statement means for the future of artists' safety. It's no longer just about overzealous fans. It's about rethinking how we treat performers as human beings, rather than untouchable fantasies. Jin's courage to speak up might empower others, including Jungkook, to do the same. While Jungkook has always been known for his fierce independence and deep connection with fans, there's an undercurrent of vulnerability in how he navigates fame. If Jin's statement signals the start of idols reclaiming personal space, Jungkook could be among the first to echo it. For now, the fandom is split. Some feel hurt, even rejected by Jin's words. Others are rallying behind him, urging HYBE and concert organizers to implement stricter safety protocols. But above all, there's a growing recognition that idol fan interactions must evolve, not just for safety, but for the emotional well-being of the artists themselves. As BTS members slowly re-enter the public eye post-military service, a shift is happening. The glittering world of K-pop is being forced to confront uncomfortable truths. Fame comes at a cost, and that cost is increasingly being measured in pain, anxiety, and broken boundaries. Jin has opened the conversation. The world now watches. Will Jungkook or the rest of BTS join him in redefining what it means to be loved? While Jin's message was directed at fans in a moment of vulnerability, its impact reverberated far beyond the concert hall. Clips of the moment quickly spread across social media, sparking debates not only among ARMYs, but also among fans of other groups, and even within the broader K-pop community. Many expressed deep sympathy, acknowledging that the intense devotion sometimes shown by fans can easily cross into territory that's uncomfortable or even dangerous. The emotional weight of Jin's words lingered. This wasn't a dramatic outburst or a calculated PR move. It was the quiet exhaustion of someone who has given his all, his voice, his health, his body, to his craft and his fans for over a decade. It was also, unmistakably, a boundary being set. And in the often boundaryless world of K-pop, that alone felt radical. Behind the glitz and fanfare, fans often forget that idols are human, fragile, vulnerable, and just as susceptible to pain as anyone else. Jin, known for his warm personality and goofy charm, revealed another side of himself that night. A man still healing, both physically and emotionally. And that honesty, raw and rare, struck a chord.
The situation raises inevitable questions about how much physical access fans should be granted. In a culture where fan service is practically an expectation, where touching an idol's hand or snapping a selfie up close is marketed as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Jin's simple request not to be grabbed is more than just a personal boundary. It's a challenge to the entire system. As fans digest what this means, attention is slowly turning to Jungkook. The youngest member of BTS has always carried a unique kind of magnetism, intense, intimate, almost untouchable in its allure. But that allure comes with a cost. Jungkook, too, has had moments where he seemed overwhelmed by the attention, even when smiling through it. And while he hasn't publicly spoken about his discomfort, longtime fans remember moments when his expression faltered, when he took a step back, when his body tensed. It's easy to imagine that he too might be carrying experiences similar to Jin's, moments of fear, of pressure, of needing space but not knowing how to ask for it. If Jin has opened the door, perhaps Jungkook is standing behind it, quietly considering whether to step through. The possibility of more idols speaking up is both hopeful and heartbreaking. Hopeful because it signals a new kind of honesty. Heartbreaking because it means so many of them have likely been suffering in silence. The future of BTS fan interactions may be changing. What was once built on fantasy and frictionless closeness is now being redefined by consent, communication, and respect. Fans are being asked not just to adore, but to understand, not just to support, but to listen. And that shift, though subtle, is powerful. As Jin continues his tour, fans are already showing signs of change. More signs asking for respectful distance, more conversations about healthy fan behavior, more voices rising to defend the artists they love, not just as stars, but as people. Jin has taken the first step. Whether Jungkook will speak next or whether his silence will say enough remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, something has shifted in the heart of K-pop, and perhaps, finally, it's shifting in the right direction. As conversations ripple through online forums, fan cafes, and global social media feeds, a quiet reckoning seems to be unfolding, not just for BTS fans, but for the entire culture surrounding idol fan interactions. The moment Jin spoke those words, asking not to be touched, something shifted. What was once considered harmless affection is now being questioned. What used to be seen as moments of closeness are being re-evaluated under the lens of respect and personal boundaries. Fans are beginning to ask themselves difficult questions. Have we crossed a line? Have our expectations of intimacy become too entitled? There's a kind of heartbreak in that realization, especially for fans who have poured their emotions, time, and energy into supporting BTS. But perhaps it's a necessary one. Because in the rush of affection, in the longing to be seen or acknowledged by someone who feels so distant yet so familiar, it's easy to forget that idols don't owe that intimacy. They may smile, they may reach out their hands, but they too have limits. And when those limits are ignored, even with the purest intentions, the damage can be real. Jin's vulnerability may have opened the floodgates for a deeper kind of conversation. Not the surface-level discussions about music charts or fan chants, but about safety, boundaries, and emotional labor. In that light, it's no longer just about Jin or Jungkook. It's about what we ask of all idols, how we celebrate them, how we touch them with our admiration, and how sometimes we demand more than they are able or willing to give. Jungkook's name continues to trend in connection with the incident, even though he hasn't made a public statement. Fans are analyzing past clips of him pulling away from overbearing crowds, his quiet moments during fan meetings, the flickers of discomfort behind his ever-professional demeanor. Perhaps they're trying to prepare themselves for what he might one day say. Or perhaps they already know, deep down, that he's felt what Jin felt, and that he too has stayed silent for too long. The culture around fan engagement is shifting, slowly but unmistakably. What was once accepted, the screaming, the grabbing, the invasive closeness, now feels increasingly out of place in a world where idols are no longer willing to sacrifice their personal comfort in exchange for public devotion. Jin's words echo louder, not because they were shouted, but because they were spoken softly, with pain and sincerity. And in that softness, he may have done something revolutionary. If Jungkook does decide to speak, it won't be seen as a betrayal by those who truly understand him. It will be an act of self-respect and a call for a different kind of love. One that doesn't come with conditions, one that doesn't demand constant access, one that allows distance without guilt. For now, fans are left reflecting on their actions, on their expectations, and on how to support the people they love in ways that are truly kind. BTS has always challenged the norms, not just musically, but emotionally. Maybe this is the next evolution, not just breaking records or stereotypes, but breaking down the toxic parts of fandom culture and rebuilding it with empathy. Jin may have started this with a simple request, but what he's really done is invite all of us, fans, idols, and the industry itself, to look inward, to ask what it truly means to care for someone, and to remember that even the brightest stars can bruise.